Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're going to get right into it today. Big, huge thank you to those of you that have followed my work for over 20 years and those of you that are just joining me now. It is my utmost honor, privilege, and pleasure to be able to guide all of you on this journey that we call life, using energy, mind-body wellness, as well as natural methods to realign mind, body, soul, and energy. Come on in. Today, we are going to be discussing what are the blockages and how do you find them? I get this question all the time from people. Olivia, I want to manifest something. I want to have greater health. I want to have a better relationship. I want to make more money. But what are the things that are blocking me from doing so? Because it's not just as easy as thinking about it, right? It's not as easy as making a list and identifying the areas in our lives where we may be the own biggest issue. In fact, I always tell my clients that you are not the best judge of yourself, because we judge ourselves and see ourselves through a lens that is really, really convoluted and really filtered through all of our life experience, through our perception of how we see ourselves, of how we imagine other people view us. And by the end of the day, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we are not seeing ourselves as the world sees us. There are three different versions of you. The first is how the world sees you. The second is how you think you show up in the world. And the third is who you really are, which is usually a combination of all of the above. So let's get into it. The first thing that I tell all of my clients is to take an honest inventory. Now, we do this through a series of exercises. One of my favorites is called the Energy Budget, and I've included the link below for the free PDF. I encourage you to do this on your own. This gives you a really transparent look at where you are allocating your mind, your body, your physical output, your mental output, your emotional output throughout the day, and into what areas of your life. And a lot of the times, just by beginning this exercise, what I see with my clients is that their energy starts to shift. And why is that? It's because it is an awareness of where your energy is flowing. And sometimes, simply by the act of awareness, we begin to set our tuner, we begin to set our frequency in a different direction. And that's really what we want to talk about today. I want to get into the different reasons and the different whys of how we can prevent the things that we so desperately want, the things that we feel so aligned with, from coming into our reality. Now, for those of you that have followed me forever, and if you haven't, I want you to go click the subscribe button so that you do not miss out on any of this content and it's released. But really the first step is identifying where in our auric field. And that sounds really woo-woo to a lot of people, but let me explain. It's really not that crazy. It's really not that witchy. It's science. It's actually where science meets spirituality. Let me explain. So our auric field is the generation of the electrical magnetic output of our heart plus the electromagnetic output of our brain. So this is where what we think and what we feel has a convergence. And oftentimes what I find with clients is when they are experiencing blockages or delays in the manifestation, meaning that they're doing the affirmations, they're writing down the list, they're getting really clear, they're going through the exercises, whatever they may be for their specific manifestation, but they're not seeing the results. That usually means that you have a desire in your heart and your electromagnetic field that is 5 times more resonant than that of your thoughts, that is not coherent. It doesn't match up with your thoughts, with your beliefs. So you can say all of the affirmations, you can write the lists, you can do the meditations, you can do all of that shit. But if you don't have a space in your body to contain that, if you do not have ample space to create more money, more love, more wellness, whatever it is. If it feels like there's a disconnect between what you want and what you believe, what you feel in every cell of your body, in your heart and in your gut, in your belly, in your intuition center, then the manifestations are going to be delayed. And the first step in fixing that is always nervous system regulation. When we regulate our nervous system, what we are doing is we are taking our thoughts, our brain waves, and all of the ideas, all of the perceptions, all of the beliefs, because a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking, right? That's all that it is, which means it's very pliable, it's very malleable, and you are matching it up with where and how you feel about that belief in your body. Because when your nervous system, when the cells of your body feel safe and open and ready to receive, when you think a thought, you think, oh my gosh, I want $1 million. And that feels in your body exciting, or that feels in your body like, oh yeah, I can imagine that. That's really on the tip of my tongue. That's really close. That's really around the next corner. And that's the anticipatory vibration that you emit, is an expectation. Then it's really close. Then it happens like that. And I'm not talking about 6 months. I'm not talking about a year. What I'm talking about is not building something and attracting it in. You're not creating when you're manifesting. Remember, what you are doing is you are lining up your frequency with the frequency of something that is already in existence, right? And as I always say, if it is written on your heart, it is possible in your reality. And the only determining factor is how fast and what path you take to create that convergence between your mind and your heart. And the first step in nervous system regulation is always creating the baseline from which your body becomes the container for the beliefs, for the manifestations that you feel safe with. Because your body is always seeking safety. Every second of every minute of every hour of every day, your nervous system is seeking regulation. And in the world that we live in, I get it. There's a lot of crazy shit going on. There's a lot of fuckery. There's a lot of news, media, etc., etc. I get it. I'm here too, guys. But what you have to do is create small pockets that you can dip back into periodically that are your baseline for nervous system regulation. So for some people, it might be walking on a beach. For some people, it might be the gym. For some people, it's gardening. Whatever it is, and I suggest if you don't know what it is, you just start with very basic 5-minute 5-5-5 breathing. And if you don't know what that is, check the link in bio for more information. It's essentially a process where you bring your parasympathetic nervous system into coherence with the rest of your body. It's really, really great exercise. Only takes 5 minutes. So I would suggest 5-5-5 breathing, finding that space, bringing yourself into that space where you do have an exhale, where you do have that, okay, I'm fine, I'm grounded, I'm here, I'm present. That is going to be the little seed that you plant that begins the process of growing a bigger container, a bigger space, and a bigger opportunity to use when you need to dip back into that throughout the craziness of your day. Try it, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know.